Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to The Mixer, the segment on this channel where I, mix things from all walks of life, pun intended there. I talk about animals and, nature, sports, celebrities, places, things and this, all that, blah, blah, blah. Today I am going to apologize ahead of time for a few things. One is the possible very crappy lighting in here today, I'm recording this video at like 4:30 p.m. It's not the usual time to record, so the sun is it's starting to set in their clouds, and you guys might hear birds in the background because the birds outside always seem to want to chirp when I am freaking busy with recording. It's freaking annoying as hell. But anyways, so but bear with me here because I gotta get this video done today or else I'm not gonna have an upload for you guys the next day, so just be patient. Now here's the thing, today is going to be a video talking about a specific athlete, but it's not going to be the traditional player profile that I do here, going through their entire careers. There was a recent one that I did about the Brazilian Ronaldo and that was 42 damn minutes long, but then a little bit after that, more recently, I did this one here talking about Cristiano Ronaldo, but breaking down his 800 senior career goals, and I'm going to be doing something similar with Lionel Messi today. I'm pretty sure you know who Messi is. If you don't, then you're really stupid, or because even if you're not like a fan of sports, I'm pretty sure you've heard of the name Lionel Messi, one of the best players of this current generation here. Although me personally, I prefer Cristiano Ronaldo. That should go without saying. This video isn't going to get too long, not because I don't have admiration for Messi, but because I'm going to cover something that I think is very pertinent in his career right now, and in case you guys don't know, Messi spent the vast majority, pretty much the entirety of his career in Barcelona in Spain, where he played from 2004 until 2021, and that is where he established and broke so many records related to appearances and goal scoring and titles, and also individual accolades that he won as a player, like Ballon d'Ors and Golden Shoes, so notably, he had won, up until the time he left to go to PSG recently, he had won a record 35 trophies in Barcelona, which included 10 La Liga titles, which is the Spanish national championship, and also 7 Copa del Reys, the King's Cup, kind of like the domestic cup in Spain, and also 4 UEFA Champions Leagues, among others, He also has a few goal scoring records within Spain, which I'm going to read for you guys here. He has the record right now for the most goals scored in La Liga with 474, which is a lot of freaking goals, I'm not gonna lie. The most goals in a season for La Liga and a whole European season, which is 50 goals. So 50 goals in one season for La Liga and also for any European competition, and also the most hat-tricks in La Liga with 36, In case you don't know, a hat-trick is when a player scores 3 goals in a match, and also the most hat-tricks in the UEFA Champions League with 8, so 8 different times he scored 3 goals in different games in the Champions League, and also the most assists in La Liga with 192, so a very prolific playmaker. He's much more of a playmaker than Cristiano, I'll give him that. And also the records for most assists in a La Liga season with 21 assists, very impressive number there, and also the most assists in the Copa America with 17, and he also holds the record for the most international goals by a South American male with, of course, 90, so considerably above Neymar, who has like 77, I think, so yes. And at the time that I'm recording this video, Messi has scored over 780 career goals, specifically, barely more than that, right? He has scored, okay, let me read this in the correct order, right now in total, throughout his entire career with Argentina and Barcelona and PSG, his short time there, he has 991 appearances, so almost coming up on 1,000 games. So Cristiano has so much more. Okay, not trying to hate on Messi. And he has scored 782 goals, which is a very rare feat to accomplish, even more so in today's soccer prowess, And he has given 341 assists to his teammates in total. So, like I said before, much more of a playmaker than Cristiano. I can give him that, So, a lot of very impressive, accolades and also individual skill. I'm going to be getting into his actual career trophies later, but first let's talk about his prowess at Barcelona. But before that, let's take a look at a goal here that he scored in his early days.
Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
You gotta admit, It's really impressive. It's really hard to not be a fan of Messi, man. I'm a big fan of the guy. I just prefer Cristiano, always have, you know? But now there is a lot of information that I can cover on Messi, so I'm gonna try to condense this as much as possible, so forgive me if I leave anything out, but basically to give you a rundown of what he did in Barcelona, you know? Now, when he began as a teenager, he was playing mostly in the shadow of Ronaldinho, you know? He grabbed the number 30 jersey. That's actually the first number that he started with, you know? And then as things started to shift more, you know, he actually joined the youth team. He played in the youth team for a few years, you know, and as the years would go on, he would rise slowly more and more to the senior team, you know, and by the time Ronaldinho left to go to Milan in Italy, Messi had already not only taken the number 10 shirt, but also started to develop let's say a bit more of seniority within the club, you know. Now, one of the very first notable moments in his career was in 2007 when he scored an amazing goal against Getafe, you know, which was very similar to what Maradona did in the I think it was the 86 World Cup, yeah, 1986, you know. I'm thinking of something else in 82. So maybe it was the goal that I inserted, maybe it's the one that I'll insert after this, I don't know, but I'll see what I can do, you know. But it's a goal that he pretty much passed through everybody from the midfield, dribbled a bunch of players, and then beat the keeper and scored the goal, you know. Really freaking crazy. What the hell is that? I felt something on my neck. Maybe it was just the wind. I thought it was a bug or something. But anyway, so now also in the 2008-09 season, Messi won Barcelona their first treble, you know, which is when an European team wins in the same season 3 trophies, which is the domestic league competition, the domestic cup competition, and the domestic continental competition, you know. That last one is a tongue twister. So the Spanish championship, the Spanish cup, and the UEFA Champions League. And they did that in 08-09. And of course, many more goals later, many more trophies would follow, with Messi rising through the ranks quickly, winning Ballon d'Or after Ballon d'Or, and being elected the best player in the world for many years, you know. And he was really unstoppable. Like, if you saw Messi in his heyday, like, let's say from between like 2010, 2011 to like 2015, 16, he was at his peak, man. Messi was a goddamn monster, you know. And he would also win Barcelona the treble again in the 2014-2015 season, you know. And at the time of doing that, I do believe they were the first team, you know, and maybe to this day still is the only team, the first and only European men's team to win a treble twice, you know. And like I said, they were impossible. And during their 4 UEFA Champions League runs, you know, dude, like, seeing Messi play was something else, you know. Many people called him an alien, said he was out of this world, because the way that he played was just literally insurmountable. I don't even think that word exists, but if it doesn't, I just made it up to describe Messi, you know. The only way to describe Messi is with words that don't exist in the English language, you know. There were many notable games, you know, and of course in the Champions League and also in La Liga, where he scored so many goals, he started to become a dead ball specialist, and it was very common for you to see Messi grab the ball from a teammate and start dribbling through everybody, you know, because that was just his style, you know, primarily left-footed. When he got that ball, and he hit it just right with the left foot, 95% of the time it was going in, and the goalie couldn't do anything about it, you know. Messi to this day is the one soccer player who I've seen who ran faster with the ball at his feet than without the ball, you know. It's crazy, man. Amazing ball control, you know, quick reflexes, you know, lightning fast dribbles, you know. It's almost like there was a magnet, you know. It's like the ball was glued to his feet, you know. It was really hard to stop him. And of course, he formed a dynasty over the years with players like Xavi, Iniesta, David Villa, you know. There was also very briefly Thierry Henry played for Barca, but it didn't really have a very lasting impact. No, Ibrahimovic also wasn't really too well received. Then of course we had the defensemen, you know, we had Piqué and Puyol. There were some really good goalkeepers as well. So there was this dynasty around him that helped him become what he was, but he by himself individually was just a freak, you know. It was impossible for you to stop Messi. A few more tidbits of info here for you guys, you know. Now here's the thing, he actually won his first Ballon d'Or when he was 22, so 2 years older than the original Brazilian Ronaldo, you know, so not quite a record there. However, after 3 successful seasons, he won 4 consecutive Ballon d'Ors, you know. So he actually, he won, he was the, yeah, he was the, Okay, Messi would go on to win 4 consecutive Ballon d'Ors, you know, which at the time was the FIFA Ballon d'Or, which was the joining of the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA World Player of the Year, okay? He would go on to win 4 of those, making him the first player not only to win 4, but in a row, 4 consecutive, you know, freaking little bastard. Anyway, so then during the 2011-2012 season, you know, he set the La Liga and European records for most goals scored in a single season with 73, and also was already the top goal scorer of all time for Barcelona. He is still to this day the player with the most amount of goals for one club, by the way, like nobody even comes close. Okay, so then anyway, the following 2 seasons he finished second for the Ballon d'Or behind Cristiano Ronaldo, CR7, the greatest of all time. And also, here we go. Oh my god, and then he regained his best form again for the 2014-2015 campaign, you know, when he also became the all-time top scorer in La Liga for record history and led Barcelona to that trouble that I mentioned again, you know. And then he won his 5th Ballon d'Or, which was a freaking cheating little thing. There were 2 Ballon d'Ors that Messi won that I personally did not think he deserved, and one of them was the 7th most recent, you know. That was just BS, man, you know. Could have given that to Vinicius Jr. or Kylian Mbappe or something, I don't know, man. But anyway, so... And then, yes, he became the captain of Barcelona in 2018, bro. 2018, Messi was the captain. He took Puyol's place and fulfilled his destiny. Took his place by the side of his mentor and would allow himself to become my neighbor who's at the gate, probably looking at me like I'm crazy. Anyway, so then in 2019, he won the 6th Ballon d'Or, you know. Then later, he would sign for PSG, which is what I'm going to get to later. So now, as as an Argentinian national, he won a few. You know what? Screw Argentina. That's not what I'm talking about here. You know, that's not what I'm talking about, okay? I don't care what he won with Argentina. But basically, throughout his time in Barcelona, he managed to not only make a name for himself, you know, individually, but also elevate himself to such great heights that Barcelona was for a time the best team on the planet, you know. And I was a Real Madrid supporter for many years. Today, I just kind of sympathize with them, but I saw many games. I saw El Clasico, you know, many times, which is the classic, you know, the clash between Real Madrid and Spain, which were Real Madrid and Spain, Real Madrid and Barcelona, you know. So it was always marketed as Cristiano Ronaldo versus Lionel Messi, you know. I do believe Messi got the best out of those, you know, and he is actually the current most, he is the player who scored the most amount of goals, you know, in El Clasico. And there was this one moment in the Champions League, I believe it was before he got his tattoo, so maybe in the 2014-2015 season, you know, because they did win the Champions League that season, he actually scored like a wonder goal where he actually dribbled past, you know, Jerome Boateng against Bayern Munich and scored a chip over the keeper, you know. There was another one that I think was in 2011, which was one of my favorite goals, where it really showed how unstoppable he was, man, you know, because he managed to get past a few different players. You know, he got the ball in the midfield, somebody just gave it off to him, and this was El Clasico, by the way, against Real Madrid. He started to dribble a bunch of other players, you know, got past them with little to no effort, and then like freaking finessed the ball past the goal, man. The goalie. You know, Messi was a freaking beast. And now, just to give you guys a little bit of more of a... What the hell is wrong with me today, man? To give you a little bit more of an idea, you know, he was very, very quick. You know, he had this thing where it was almost like he could see into the future, you know, almost like he had a 6th sense while on the field, because the way that Messi would dribble past you was unparalleled. Like, it was really hard to knock him down. He wasn't the kind of player who would fall easily because of fouls and that kind of thing, you know. So, like, to guard him, you would actually normally see him getting the ball and 3, 4, 5 players coming at him, you know, and trying to surround him, you know. Everybody's trying to mark him, and even so, he would still get past all of them and score, you know. Many of his best career goals, if you look at his top 10 career goals for Barcelona, you'll see this is what he did, man, you know. He dribbled past the opposition, then again, and he put the ball wherever the hell he wanted to, you know, which contributed largely to his 10 La Liga titles for Barcelona, you know, 10 freaking La Ligas, man. And like I said, some of them were trebles, so they were consecutive, you know. And then also his 7 Copa del Rey titles, like I said before, you know, I'm gonna put it up on screen here now, though, you know. from 08 all the way to 2021, his most recent one. He also won 7 Supercopa de España, so 7 Spanish Super Cups, you know, with Barcelona. And also, like I said before, the most prestigious one, you know, the UEFA Champions League. So that is freaking awesome, dude. That is freaking awesome. Messi is insane. 4 Champions Leagues. And also 3 UEFA Super Cups, you know, in 2009, 2011, and 2015. And he would also go on to win 3 different FIFA Club World Cups, you know. And this actually happened. One of them in 2011 was against Santos. I actually saw that game live. It was 4-0. They freaking took him to the cleaners, man. It was freaking impossible. And yes, I'm going to be getting into what he did with PSG a little bit later, because that's actually what I'm going to talk about now. But before that, you already know the drill. Let's take a look at another wonder goal scored by Messi in Barcelona.
But along with Barcelona and Real Madrid, Athletic Bilbao have never been relegated from the Primera Division.
It's something to be admired, I have to say. Well, there's 3 of them round. He's still going. Look at this, Kevin.
It's a brilliant run from Messi. Did he go all the way? It's one of the great Copa del Rey final goals.
One very interesting thing that I forgot to mention was that out of those 10 La Liga titles that he won, 3 were consecutive, you know, with Barcelona in the 08-09 season, the 09-10 season, and the 10-11 season, the 2010-2011 season, you know. 3 consecutive times Barcelona were Spanish championships with Messi, you know, leading the way. So now we are going to get a little bit more caught up, because recently, last year, Messi actually left Barcelona. Barcelona had been failing structurally for many years, and there was one point where Messi even flirted with the idea of leaving, you know, going to possibly Manchester City, but the board of directors insisted he stay on it. They were going to try to make things better, you know, so he gave them another chance, stayed for a little bit more, and then when he decided to actually stay for life, that's when they gave him the boot, you know, to the butt, you know. They made him leave, because I have the quote here directly from the source, you know. So now basically the club cited financial and structural obstacles posed by the regulations of La Liga, you know, as a reason for his departure, and the president also blamed the previous board for his exit, you know, by saying that the basis of everything is the calamitous and disastrous situation left by the previous board, and the expected depth is much higher, and we had some sports contracts in place, and that left us no margin for salary, you know. Just in case you guys don't know, but it should be obvious, Messi has a very big salary, you know. He was one of the most expensive players on the planet with the highest salary, you know, and he was the second soccer player after Cristiano Ronaldo to become a billionaire within the sport. So yeah, he's not cheap, you know. So yes, and then 3 days later, in a very tearful press conference, Messi decided to leave, you know. Well, he didn't decide, he had to leave, you know. He confirmed he was going to be leaving. That interview was really hard to watch, man. What was even harder is what happened next. Messi going to France to play for PSG, you know. So he signed for them in August, you know, a two-year deal until 2023 with an option for an extra year. And then instead of grabbing Neymar's number 10, he chose the number 30, you know, for his jersey, because he would be restarting, you know, starting over a new chapter in his career, just as he started with Barcelona as a teenager and had the number 30 shirt, you know. So yeah. And then he made his debut, you know, in August 29th. You know, he came on as a substitute, you know. He actually came over in a 2-0 win against Reims, you know, away from home, which was actually the last gameplay that I did in FIFA 22. Somehow I forgot to mention that throughout the entire video up until now, you know, because it was that video that inspired this one. But, you know, that's just how it is, man, you know. It was a little bit more successful, though. It was a little bit more than 2-0. You got to go to watch to see the full details, though, you know. And then his first start, you know, was for the Champions League debut in a 1-1 draw away, this and that, you know. And then 4 days later, he did, okay, you know what? Let me just get to his first goal, okay? September 28th, his first goal, you know, a strike from 18 yards out, but that's not exactly what I want to focus on. When Messi went to PSG, you know, the first few games, like today, he's kind of okay. He has adapted a little bit more to French soccer, you know, but those first few games were hard to see, man. They were rough, because you're talking about a player who played up until then had played his entire career in one club, you know, and his team chemistry with his teammates in Barcelona were on another level. Like, you could pass the ball anywhere to Messi because you knew he was going to be there to take the shot on the goal, and he could put the ball wherever he wanted to. He knew where you were going to be. He knew exactly how to pass it to you, whether it's a cross or a lob or threaded through, you know. Messi, like, in Barcelona, he really truly did have a sixth sense, you know. We're talking about a player who was there from when he was a kid, playing with many of the other players around him from the youth squad, you know, who rose to the senior club, and just, you know, it was there, man. And for many years, no matter what you did, you knew where he was going to be. He knew where you were going to be, you know. In PSG, it was different. He really struggled the first few games, you know, because adapting to a different kind of soccer with more star players around him, like, you know, Neymar and Mbappe, you know, it was really tough, you know. They have formed a formidable trio since then, but it's really not the same, you know. You could tell it's really hard for Messi. However, you know, having scored 40 goals at club and international level for the calendar year in the first season, you know, and also helping Argentina win the Copa America over Brazil. He received his 7th Ballon d'Or in November of last year, you know. But I don't think it was very well deserved, man. It's just because Messi has a name for himself, you know. So anyway, a few more. The next season came around, you know. What else can I say? I don't even know, man. Professional level, this and that, new teammates, family level. Yes, it was also really tough for his family to adjust, you know, because he had 3 kids at that point who had spent their whole lives growing up in Spain, Barcelona. They had their really big house there, you know. His wife as well probably had difficulties in adapting, you know. It's kind of funny because you could see his kids in the photos with him with, like, very clearly they were not happy, you know. They were a little, you could tell that in some of the photos they weren't looking very happy, you know. They definitely don't enjoy living in France. But when your dad is Messi, I know it's not that hard to enjoy life, you know. But anyway, judging him could have been unfair because you are talking about a player who, you know, the first year in PSG, you know, it was kind of like a learning experience, you know. He was still getting there, you know. He, like, it's not just because a player is good that he's gonna be good everywhere, unless of course you're Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo played well wherever the hell he went, man, you know. But, you know, I mean, Ronaldo's Ronaldo, Messi is Messi, you know. It is unfair to judge Messi. It is unfair because his entire career in one club, knowing the ins and outs of how that club works and how to play there, you know, going anywhere else was disastrous. Even Argentina was a good example of that. However, he finished his debut season with 11 goals in total that he scored, you know, and also trying to be a bit of a playmaker. He also gave 14 assists, you know, across all competitions, and that was the first time since the 2005-06 season that he failed to reach double figures in league goals. He only scored 6 goals in the actual league, you know. Then more recently in the 2022-23 season, you know, he started off by scoring PSG's first goal in a 4-0 victory over Nantes in the champion, you know, and that's pretty much it. Before I get to a little bit more of his legacy there, the trophies that he won, let's take a look at a clip here. If I can get one without any copyright issues of Messi scoring a goal for PSG.
Neymar with the attempted slide rule pass, just that touch there, takes it into the bar for Lionel Messi, but the balance, the composure and the finish.
And PSG go in front. And could it be the shape of things to come in the new Galtier-led Paris Saint-Germain regime?
Well, he showed a turn of foot, didn't he, Lionel Messi, turning back the clock in that respect, but then...
Now, for PSG, Messi has won 2 trophies so far, which was the League One, you know, the actual main French championship, and that was his first season there, 21-2022, you know. But this year, recently, you know, he won his second one, which was the Trophée des Champions. I don't know how to say that because I don't speak French, but I sound Italian now. I want a spicy meatball, you know. So 2 trophies so far, and, you know, I haven't been following too many of his games, but I do think that Messi is getting better with PSG, you know, because like I said before, and also there is a very interesting quote here, you know. There is also like, you know what, this is actually what Messi said. Okay, I'm gonna read for this, you know, it's already translated in English anyway. Messi himself said this, you know, about his first season. I think about being able to reverse the situation, about not having the feeling of having changed clubs and that it didn't go well for me. I'm already prepared for what's to come. I know the club, I know the city, I'm a little more comfortable with the dressing room, with my teammates, and I know it's going to be different, you know. Now, like I said before, it's not very fair to judge Messi, you know, because it's really not his fault, man, you know. Like I said before, it's a player who was phenomenal at club level for Barcelona, somebody who really truly knew what he was doing, you know, and you can't really have somebody play their entire career in a certain way, a certain place with certain teammates, and then throw them somewhere else and expect them to, you know, just, you know, do the same. Now, I will admit, I actually thought he was done for when he hit PSG. I thought that he was just gonna go down and down and down, going downhill and eventually retire, you know. But he actually has been playing a lot better, you know. He has improved a lot, you know, from what I've heard other people talk about him. He is 35, so when Cristiano is 30, the hell was that smell? It smells like smoke, I don't know. Cristiano being 37 is still playing at a higher level than him, but these guys can easily go on until they're 40. The problem is that Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo's era has come to an end because recently Karim Benzema won the most recent Ballon d'Or, you know, which is the first time that's happened either since Kaká in 2008, but recently I think there was another player who won, maybe it was Luka Modric or something, you know, but I don't know, but basically it's like we're talking like more than 10-15 years or so of these two players dominating the prizes, you know, and now with Benzema winning the new Ballon d'Or, it shows us that Okay, seriously, if this freaking camera turns off one more time, I am officially done with being a YouTuber. Jesus Christ, stop! My God, it just keeps this is like I think the second time in the last 3 or 4 videos that this has happened, man. Anyway, so like I was trying to say, you know, yes, Karim Benzema winning the Ballon d'Or shows us that the sun is finally setting on Ronaldo and Messi's career. And I'm sorry to keep name dropping Ronaldo so much. It's because it's really hard to not talk about one without even mentioning the other, you know. But let's not forget what Messi did in the more than 15 years that he played for Barcelona, you know, all the trophies that he won, the amazing goals he scored, the dribbles, you know, all those crazy, fantastic moments that made him one of the best soccer players in the world, you know. I personally would not put him in one of on a list of the all-time greats because he has very little success internationally, whereas Cristiano has a little bit more and he is much more dexterous, you know. Like 95% of Messi's success was in Barcelona, and with Cristiano it was more spaced out across different teams, you know. Although, of course, yes, a lot of his success was in Real Madrid, but the point is that Cristiano is a jack of all trades. Wherever he goes, he plays the same level, you know? And Messi just needs because Cristiano has much more work in Portugal than Messi has in Argentina, because there are a few decent players in Argentina around Messi, but in Portugal for many years, there was literally nobody except for Cristiano, you know? So, yes. I'm gonna have to do a versus video with these two because it's pretty much getting ridiculous at this point, just comparing them here in this video. But Messi, to me, he is without a doubt the greatest club player I've ever seen, no doubt. What he did in Barcelona, no other player will do anywhere else. I can give him that, you know, but as in the grander scale of things, you know, he just doesn't really convince me. But that's just my opinion, okay? I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys. You know, I think that Messi still has a few more golden years in PSG if he just keeps playing, you know. We are seeing him coming back around, you know, getting back up on his feet and playing much better. I personally hope he plays for a few more seasons just to maybe add a few more trophies to his resume and just go out with a bang, you know, break more records, you know, score more goals. I want to see who's gonna hit 1,000 goals first. Probably Cristiano, but I'm gonna see if Cristiano is going to retire before he hits 1,000, and same thing with Messi, you know. These two have many more years to offer us, you know, so I really hope they just keep going. I truly, honestly do as a fan of the sport. But that's it, guys. I'm gonna wrap this up here. It's really hard to condense a video about Lionel Messi in under half an hour, which is probably what this is gonna be, you know. The rough draft right now, just recording, is about 28 minutes or so, so I thought it was gonna be shorter than the Cristiano video, but epic fail, probably gonna be the same length. So obviously a lot of things were left out, but I tried to work with what I had, okay? If you feel like anything was missing, then go record a video for your own damn channel, okay? Leave me alone. But if you happen to like this one, please go ahead and give it a like, and also subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell as well so you can know exactly what time I upload. And that's it, guys. That's it for today. The fall of Lionel Messi, a very dramatic clickbaity title, huh? He really has fallen a lot from grace, man, you know? A shadow of what we used to see. But still, it's Messi, so, you know, we continue cheering for him anyway. That's it, guys. I'm exhausted. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.